you're like most personal and spiritual growth junkies, you probably read many books, maybe you attend lots of seminars and workshops, and you purchase numerous online courses or programs. And after all that time and money invested in resources meant to create transformation, do you ever wonder why you, your circumstances, and your results don't change? Plain and simple, it's because you're relying on shelf help rather than self-help to create your transformation. Well, let me explain the difference between the two and why self-help or shelf-help won't get you the results that you would desire. Okay? So shelf-help is like you reading a book and expecting the contents to create transformation in you or your life. While it's possible to have aha moments and to learn new things from books, I'm an author, so I'm a big proponent of reading books, but that's not going to shift anything in your life until you apply the insights and the strategies. Only when you shift internally will your external world change. The same is true of transformational coaching programs, courses, and events. And yes, I'm a coach and I offer programs online. But if you don't use what you learn, you won't experience transformation. It's as simple as that. And as the saying goes, nothing changes until something changes. And what needs to change is you, from the inside out. Now, self-help is like reading a book, having aha moments, learning new strategies, and then applying these to your life, or doing this in or after a coaching program, course, or live event. Self-help requires you take action on whatever method you choose to pursue. Then when you decide to do something different, you change. And at that point, your life changes too. So self-help is excellent if you use it for self-help. I'm going to repeat that. Self-help is excellent if you use it for self-help. But if the tool or resource, like the course or coaching program, goes back on the shelf, it's useless. I mean, you may have gained a little bit of knowledge and whatever, but if you're not going to use that, it really is useless. If you've invested as much money as I have in books and other transformational resources and not seen a return on investment, an ROI as they like to say, the reason is simple. The ROI only comes from taking action on what you learn. That's the only way you're going to get a return on your investment. So you can read millions of books, attend thousands of events, pay for hundreds of programs, and you're not going to change unless you do something different. And unfortunately, most people do all the things, do all these things. They read the books, attend the programs, or buy the programs and get coaching, and never implement anything they learn. And then, but if they do make a few changes, they also don't stick with them. Right? So they either don't implement at all or they don't stick with whatever actions they've chosen to take. And then what always amazes me is then they have the gall to claim that the book or the event or the program or the coach or the expert or the strategy or the framework didn't help them. For any of these things to create change, you have to help yourself, period. And that's why it's called self-help, because we apply it to ourselves. We help ourselves. So there's an element of taking responsibility in this. And I remember somebody super close to me claiming that the law of attraction didn't work. He'd been trying to manifest for a long time, but he hadn't succeeded. And he'd learned about the law of attraction from books and courses and coaches and all the rest, and thought he was implementing what he knew. He said he was focused on what he wanted, but he wasn't focused on what he wanted. He was still thinking old thoughts about what he didn't want. And so he manifested more of what he didn't want, which made him believe that the law of attraction didn't work. So, for instance, he was constantly complaining about how horrible his job was and how much he hated it, and he wished he didn't have to work there. And then he was surprised when he got fired. And so I'll tell you the same thing I told him, which is, he created that. If you look around your life, you're going to see what you're creating, right? So I told him, I said, stop blaming and making excuses for why transformational resources, like the books and the courses that he had taken, that you've tried them and they haven't worked. Instead, take responsibility for yourself, for the fact that you never really took action. Admit that you didn't apply the tools. Admit that you didn't apply the resources and strategies that you learned, or that you didn't do it consistently enough over a long enough period of time to see an ROI. And face the fact that you didn't do anything different, really. And that's why you haven't transformed. You might have dabbled, you might have tried it, but you didn't stick with it, you didn't give it your all. And that's why you're not creating any change. So if you want the books, programs, courses, and events you've paid for to provide you with the ROI you really desire, which is transformation, approach what you learn from these programs differently. Number one, begin by not putting the resources back on the shelf when you finish with them. In other words, don't shelve the books, put away the notes from your coaching sessions, shut down the online program, or stick the workshop notebook in a drawer. Instead, keep them out and open and in plain sight, because then you won't forget about them. And then use these following 3 strategies that I'm going to tell you about to help you implement. So number one, make sure you take notes during events and coaching sessions, and highlight your books when reading, or put sticky notes on them, and do all the homework, right? Even what's in the books. When you read a book, highlight important passages or use those sticky notes to remind you of the text that inspired you, inspired insights, gave you aha moments. You can even take notes when you read a book. Be sure also to take notes if you're in a course or a coaching program or at an event. And if you haven't done that, go back, for instance, and reread the last book you read and start with that one, or start with the next one. If you're in a coaching program like my certified high performance coaching, which I offer in the Inspired Creator community as well as one-on-one, I want my clients taking notes. So the same goes for you. If you're in a coaching program, take notes during sessions and read and collect the follow-up notes sent from your coach. So I send notes to my high performance coaching clients after a session. I also send some notes after Inspired Results coaching. And I do the same for my group coaching programs. You want to read those and you want to collect them so that you can keep reviewing them over and over again. And don't make the mistake of thinking that handouts or homework assignments provided by your coach or part of an online program or event are optional. If you want transformation, they're required. I have clients who don't do the worksheets. Every session of high performance coaching comes with a worksheet, and they don't do them, and they don't realize that that's what's cementing in the knowledge. That's what's helping them apply, right? Same goes with books that have exercises in it, and I've been at fault of this in the past, that you are reading a book and it tells you to go do something and you're like, I don't want to do that right now, I just want to keep reading. No, stop and do the exercises that the author suggests. Okay, the second strategy is to review your notes, highlights, exercises, handouts, and homework. Okay, so once you complete the book or the event or the course or the coaching program, review your notes. Okay? Review your notes, review what you highlighted in the book, review the exercises that you did in the books, or the homework assignments or related materials from whatever resource you've used. And do this weekly, if not several times a week, for an entire month. So you're going to review your notes and highlights, etc., weekly for an entire month. Then you're going to review those notes and worksheets and whatever once per month for 6 months to a year. This is going to really ingrain the information. And as you review, make a note of your most important takeaways. Then create a document with those insights and review it weekly for 3 to 6 months. Also, make a list of action items. It's all number 2. It's all about you using these notes, right? So make a list of action items. What do you have to implement to create change? Put a star next to the 3 items that have the potential to create the biggest transformation in your life. Those are the ones you want to do. If you're in a coaching program or a multi-month online program, review your notes from sessions or modules each week. And don't just review the most recent ones, actually review the prior ones as well. So yes, it's going to take more and more time as you go through the program, but you're going to see the most progress if you create additional opportunities to build on the concepts week to week. So the third strategy is to take actions or put the action items on your calendar. Actually block time to implement the strategies you learn and put the tools you've been given to use, because new and consistent action leads to change. So commit to taking action. There are lots more advanced strategies that can help you turn shelf-help into self-help, such as changing your identity, developing new habits, altering your mindset. I teach those in the Inspired Creator community and to my private coaching clients, both certified high performance coaching and inspired results coaching. But you can start with the strategies described here in this video, and if you're reading the blog post, in the blog post, and then track how quickly you begin to create change. Okay? In fact, tracking your progress is an essential part of any growth effort. So here's what I'll leave you with. Change can be forced upon you externally, and often that's why we change and how we change is because we must. But most of us hate to be forced to change. So if it's transformation you really desire, commit to helping yourself. Stop relying on shelf help to help you grow personally and spiritually, and rely on self-help. So you're going to use that shelf help by helping yourself, right? So I'd love to know how you move from shelf help to self-help. So leave me a comment below this video, let me know. And yeah, put what you learn here in this video to use and tell me how that works for you, okay? So if you've never seen a video from me before, I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I call myself an intuitive transformational catalyst. People know me as the Inspiration to Creation Coach. But what I really enjoy doing, what I'm passionate about, is helping people get from where they are to where they want to go without letting anything get in the way. And what that usually is what's going on up here. I like to help people combine their passion and their purpose so they get inspired and take inspired action and then get inspired results. I use personal and spiritual growth. I use my intuition, and it is my life's work to help people really step into being the person they know they can be and want to be, to access their higher purpose, their higher self, and to show up in the world as the best version of themselves. So if that's of interest to you, click above on the link for the Inspired Creator community. That's where you can access both my high performance coaching and my inspired results coaching. So that's where I offer personal and spiritual growth. And I would love to be of service to you, and it would be my honor to coach you and to have you be part of my community. Until I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.